Alright, hello everyone. Just kind of an impromptu little live session, having a little fun. And, oh well. Theme of the day. Color of the day. How are you guys doing? Hope everything's going well. And I'll get set up here so I can read some comments. And hope you guys are. Hey, there you are, Dave. Thanks, man. I didn't really. I was gonna do it then, So, yeah. Go to my thing here. Channel, and I'll go to live. There we go. Now I can see everything. Hey, dude, George. Hi, John. You guys doing? Just running a few cars. Just kind of doing my. With the lap timer, just the screen here. I don't know how adjust this. I have the split screen now, so I have it down here and here, and then it's just right over here at Command Central is the laptop, and it splits the screens for here, so working pretty good. Just HDMI splitter, and it did the trick. And I'm just playing with some cars here, just a variety. You never guess the color scheme for today. So, and we'll start off with let's slot it. These cars, I was talking with a few other folks, and you just have to hand it to Maurizio and the team. How many years these have been with us, and the slotted Group C. This is the slot. It's for the first of the advanced racer, not just the Electric Carrera snap on the track and go, but for the more advanced racer. And we can thank Slotted for really bringing us this class. The NSRs, the Scale Autos, the Thunder slots, the Revel slots, they all followed Slotted, and the Group C cars are still some of the easiest to maintain. So really nice cars. Again, I disagree with most of the people that whine out there and complain that you have to adjust a gear mesh or something on these cars. They're not just Carrera Go 143rd cars you just snap on the track and go. They're designed for the more advanced racer, and you have to go through them a little bit, just like adjusting the pod. Complaining about adjusting the gear mesh is like the pod. It's designed to be adjusted to your track conditions, to your driving style. How loose do you want it to be, etc. The body, do you want any float there? It's all a part of adjustment. It's part of the fun of the hobby. It's not really anything to complain about. If you don't want to do any of that, then just stick with Carrera Electric and magnets, throw it on track and go, and there's nothing wrong with that either. But we owe it all right here. Slotted, really. And this one here, just a great car all the way around, and stock, just some good old-fashioned regular rubber on it, nothing fancy. Give it a run here, check on my pants sweaters. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's, I don't know. It's like going to a steakhouse and complaining that, the salad isn't good. I mean, what did you go there for? This car here hasn't had much to it. I've just cleaned up the stock rubber. Just a few small adjustments on the pod, but as you can see, that's still the C1, the compound, but just cleaned up a little bit with a little bit of alien, a little bit of alien juice, and it runs pretty good. Now here's one that I've done. It's one of my favorites from many moons ago, and it has that NSR rubber on it. It's just real simple, but man, the work that they put into it. SCX actually made the first version, but the tempo work and the artwork on this car, if you look up the Crocodile Audi, it's just amazing, isn't it? Yes. Yes, and global whining, for the love of God. Yep. This is some of my favorite cars, these early Audis, and that's just simply because, back then the internet was brand new and we were just getting these cars in. We could get our hands on them, and these cars like this, these Audis and stuff back then in Le Mans were that's a big deal. Now I haven't. You can see here they get a little bit dirty, so I just clean them up a little bit with my sponge. You can see it, and then I have my station right here, and I'll just do a little bit of, just a little bit. This is dirty. I need a new sponge. There we go. Just a little bit of a Windex, a little bit of oil on there, just to keep them soft. They are NSR tires after all. And there we go. Oh, the Crocodile. Yeah, it is. It's really a cool car. I like them. I have several of them, and this thing goes as it's supposed to. There we go. It's 3.8. Oh yeah. So wonderful running car. Again, everybody, I like all the brands, these competition brands lately. NSR, Thunder Slot, Slotted, Scale Auto, Rebel Slot. I mean, all these brands have their weak points, strong points, but all of them are worth the price of admission to me. Carrera is a great value car with the analog cars, but thing about Carrera and the Selectric is there's just no spares. You can thank Slotted for having the spares to rebuild those cars if they need it, because without it you wouldn't have anything. So the Slotted cars are only a couple dollars more than a Selectric, but if they break, at least you can get parts for them. This isn't a race system in a series. So when you invest in a car like this investment, you can get everything. You can get the wheels, you can get tires, you can get gears, etc. You can get pods, you can add suspension, you can get everything. So to me, it's worth a little bit more money. It just depends on, the fun you're trying to have in the hobby. That's all. Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. You have to try the different brands. And I mean, nothing is perfect looks wise, but I brought this one out. This is one of the old fly cars, if you guys can remember it. And it wasn't engineered very well with this angled system in the gear. Again, you couldn't get any spares for this. So as soon as it broke, which it was going to break, it's a fly car, okay? So Paul Gage tires, just some wheels on there. But I put a milder motor in it, and it's still with us today, and it runs. But if it wouldn't be for finding a pinion gear for it, it would have been dead in the water. Because fly they're just like the other ones. They just don't. The only way you can really get spares, everybody knows the answer, buy a second car. And that's what we used to have to do. This has got a mild motor, and this has got Mark Thomas. This is like the 15K classic motor, because it just never needed to go that fast with these cars. Just fast enough that you had to drive it, but when it does deslot, the impacts are less brutal. That's why the wing is still with me there in the front wing tips. Spoiler there is still intact. The driver helmet is still round on top and not flattened by skidding on it. Not that I don't have cars like that, because it is me after all, you know. Wonderful. Wonderful little car. And yes, it has the little steering, which absolutely is meaningless. It's just for looks. And I usually glue it, but, you know, it's meaningless because, you know, yeah, it doesn't have very good alignment. It was just for show. Fly's attitude was, oh, you actually ran it? Oh, isn't that something? You know, so I'm trying to keep up here. Well, but the weird motor angle on those cars, yeah, this was just one of their specialty cars. When they did it, they just made it for that, and it was just for that particular run of cars. The March and stuff weren't really like that. You know, it's just the Williams was that way, and but the March were inline, you know, and just because of the body style or whatever, they decided to do it like that. But hey, you know what? That's a nice old car. Yeah, it's the speed is, I don't, yeah. Going fast is fun. I like going fast. I know here's one everybody loves to hate. Some people just, they just lose sleep over it. If you don't like it, don't buy it. It's just a great idea, isn't it? Complaining about it and having a hissy fit online isn't going to get them to change anything. This is just their approach to it, and to the club racing with an American twist, classic American iron, in a rainbow of colors for basically your IROC type racing, which is what a lot of them do over there. It's just a thing, and we do it here too. And I can tell you, we've killed many hours down here with the guys coming down here for the races when these first came out, and we ran them. So, you know, I don't have a problem with it at all. You know, hey Michael, hey, how you guys? Tad, how you doing? So we had talked about tires once before, and we were talking about going through the tires in a row slot and inspecting them when you're using the stock rubber and everything. So here's a slotted car I was working on, and I was just I was adding. These are the sideways tires, the 2011s, I believe. Let me go get the sheet there. I had it out. These are just a typical aftermarket tires. So these are just the sideways, nothing special. Just ones I like to test and use. That was the Thunder slot, yes. You know. And but when you install these tires, sometimes in the molding, see there's the flash molding there. So you want to inspect the tires for that before you install them on the wheel. You want to check that. And you can use a nail clipper or anything. Sometimes you can just pull that by hand, but I just like to take the sprue cutters just like that and get rid of that, because it won't let the tire sit cleanly on the wheel. So I've already done this side, and I'll just slip it on here now. And yeah, the fitment is a lot better. It was like a pea under a mattress for a princess. You didn't have that right. There you go. Good to go now. Target the wall for the 40K races, right? I haven't chewed these up. I tell you, guys can take a long time chewing the tires of stock rubber and everything. I just bring them out here and I just run them. So I went through this. I lubricated it, and I'm going to put it back together again. This is just a car that never really had a big fan base. It just didn't perform like a lot of people wanted. They were just a little cantankerous, a little bit extra weight here and there, but still a fun car regardless. One of those cars you'll love to hate or whatever. It just didn't it didn't do all that well. I liked them. They were just unique. They still are. So there we go. Got some fresh shoes on it. Oh yeah, a little dusty. Let's give it a quick clean here. There we go. Nothing like the smell of a little naphtha in the afternoon, huh? Yeah. Open them up. These could be run. Other brands are on tracks. Needed a good check over first. Yeah. Well, that's because they're competition level cars, and you have to check them over. I mean, that's just part of the hobby, part of the competing. You don't just take them out of case and slap them on the track and expect them to be perfect. Just like right now, I changed tires. Well, you use the tires that work for your track, and no matter what a company would do, Carreras, Electric, it doesn't make any difference. They could release a car and here's our stock rubber, and they'll say it's fantastic, and the first thing you're going to read is somebody's going to say, I don't like the tires. Well, pick your own then. It's not really a slam on that. It's part of the hobby. Is tires. Your blend, silicone, urethane, stock rubber, what shore rating? Are you going to treat the rubber, etc. and so forth? Working with slot car tires and different applications have been a part of this hobby since it started, really. Yeah. See, that's a fun car, huh? I mean, it isn't going to win a lot of style awards, but you know, I've always liked them. I just thought the Jags were cool, just something different. There are slot car motors out there capable of turning. Oh yeah, they're just and they almost cost that much, John. You know. So here's my surprise little car. I'm going against the color scheme of the day, but here's car number one I'm going to send out to Dave there. this challenge. I have to change the motor. It's too mild right now. This has got a really a classic motor in it, and honestly, I'm not sure. Yeah, 15K. It's got the SL1, so it's classic feel. It was designed to go with the nincompoops, etc. And it needed a chassis. So it has the brass chassis. I just have to get a new motor in there, and it has a little bit extra weight there because it was on a big king track. It just needed help, but it's got the slimline motor in there, and the wheels are the BRMs. Just in case you wanted to know. I had them here. Some vendors have them. You may have to go overseas, Pendle slot or whatever, but these classic wheels, the wire width, they're just beautiful. The rubber's not bad either, and then you have to put the knockoffs on yourself, but they're beautifully done. When these first came out, I mean, you talk about a wow factor. They just transformed these cars, made them so much nicer. Speaking of other Jaguars, this is the MR slot car, which I gave slot car of the year when they released. I think because they came out with like 4 of them at once, 3 of them at once, and even though a couple of them were fictional, I really liked them. And there you go, a clean tire is a happy tire. So, and these cars, beautiful running cars. They're quick, responsive, good quality parts on the inside, and just they're made for the tuner out there for you. But then again, you could say that about just about any car. There you go. That's running good. You guys getting any? Got any track time, any racing? What have you guys have been racing lately? Those BRM wheels aluminum? Oh, they're aluminum. Yeah, they are aluminum. Okay. You see the little set screws in there. They're aluminum. Ain't they pretty? Yep. Like jewelry. You know. Slide gear. I just did basic inline 3/32 bore, nothing fancy, and I made it to fit the original chassis. I'll take it off. I need to take the motor out anyway. I gotta put something in here a little bit better, otherwise I don't have nothing for that sucker car. Oh yeah, Lambar's beautifully done, but man, I'm telling you, we're gonna feature your video and your track and a new thing on HRW. I'm glad that you did the video, and we're gonna take a screen grab, and I'm gonna do we got that picture from you. We're gonna do the thumbnails and we're going to start featuring um, home slot car, home racing spotlight on folks' home tracks. So anyway, this is I have to take the motor out. This is just a 15K, the SL1, right? And I fabricated the as you'll notice, the motor sitting in here. Okay, that little piece of brass is just quick soldered right here on the top, and on each side is just E6000 silicone holding the motor in there with the little bit of brass right there. So I have to heat that up, and I'll pop it right out. So, yep, really basic, just chassis. I made it kind of the adjustable, the one size inside the other size here, sitting there, and then I moved it and set the wheelbase just perfect for the car, and then once it was like that, then just give it a shot of solder, and there it is. It was a pretty simple build, very, very basic. Yeah, I need some braid too. Yeah, it just needs to freshen up. We'll see how it goes on the big Revel, man, in Cali. Missing my track time and living vicariously through everyone else, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, well, yeah, the stock chassis, yeah. Some people were a fan of the Sebring chassis. I, not really particularly one of them. We got them to run okay, but they were never, to me anyway, that great. But when you stacked 3 magnets in them, well, they ran fine, Anyway, yeah, it's a good running car. We were just really the hobby in 132, and this, it's just all these brands now. These are the new standard. I mean, like it or not, for most of the advanced hobbies, the folks that are building tracks, that are racing clubs or whatever, competition level cars like this, Thunder slot it. I mean, MR slot car, etc. This is the new standard. Everybody wants, I want to change this motor, I want to change the gears, I want to change tires, I want parts, I need this. That's the new standards, What were your first slot cars in track? Oh gosh, mine was HO scale. A lot of where I grew up, HO scale was a big deal. AFX, and then shortly after that, some Strombecker. But the AFX cars were a big deal for me. And then I had an old Strombecker set and an old Revel set, and then the Army and girls, and then in the mid-90s, picked up some the Skelectric, the Tupperware, and I had a set, and then picked up some more Skelectric with the NASCARs. And back then, Carrera was, man, breathtaking expensive, Well, model motoring, AFX, model motoring was a little bit before me. My friend that lived in the town there or whatever, he had the model motoring set, and he had good old fashioned steering wheels for controller, but yeah, and then the Carrera was so expensive, and then they sold and Stadelbauer incorporated and everything, took it over, and then you could afford it. And then soon after that, it was Carrera, and then of course the wood track. But you got to start somewhere. I still tell people to get a Carrera set or something, or a Polycar, whatever. Especially Polycar, because they're smart enough to put adjustable power in the sets. They're the smartest ones. That's the best power supply in a slot car set that you can buy, is the Polycar one, because you can adjust the power. And the younger kids and some adults I know, makes it a lot easier for them to drive. Plus the cars have the perfect motor for a slot car set. It just cracks me up that they put, they make a figure-8 little track, and then they put the 21K motors in them, and no wonder why people get frustrated, because they can't keep them on the track. Well, Polycar's smarter than that. They have those little Subarus that are like unbreakable with nothing on them, and they put the little 15K motors in there with adjustable voltage, and that's really the smartest thing. They kind of left Scalextric and Carrera and in the dust. Is you just have to have the adjustability now. And we have adjustable power. I have adjustable power on this track right now. I mean, a lot of times 10.5, 11 volts is running. I have it 12 now, just to run these at normal voltage for the live show. But Dave and George will tell you, a lot of times this track is set right around 10.5, and it's fast enough, and it smooths out a lot of these cars that can be a little touchy. And 10.5 to 11 is like a sweet spot for us. We don't run the proxy. We run the proxies at 12, and you'll find there's a lot of club tracks, home club tracks anyway, out there that will tell you they do a 10.5 adjustable voltage. I'll go back to this car here. Just a little bit of cleanup here. And when you clean the stock rubber or something like that, what's great about these pads is flip it over, okay? And this side right here can really rough them up a little bit. Really helps deglaze them when you use that side, as you can see. Yep, yeah, 10.8, yeah, Carrie, yep. Your track is a perfect example. It's a fantastic home track. It's not, it isn't like these, 8-lane tracks that take up a whole airplane hangar overseas. We're talking these, so you adjust the voltage and accordingly to make the cars fun. Matter of fact, so that car there, I'll go and I'll turn this down. I'll just turn it down a little bit here. There we go. See, look at there. I have it set 10.8, Carrie. There you go. Same thing. Beautiful. Yeah, it's home racing. That's right. Perfect. Runs just fine. Sometimes you'll find out that taking the voltage down a little bit helps us become better drivers. I've seen people cut faster lap times, and the car is more stable. It's not losing the grip. They're not pushing it past its capability. That's the other thing, is a lot of the motors in some of these cars and the chassis designs and stuff You know, it's almost like people are putting the motors in here and they're pushing these cars past their engineering. You know, it's like putting you know, a turbo on a lawnmower. Sometimes you just, it would go fast if you could control it. You know, I'm trying to keep up with the comments there. Start stop relay timing sensors today. Yeah. Yeah, I just use I don't have I just, on my track, I don't have it. I have the start stop, but it's on the computer. I just hit the space bar and TrackMate, and I get for the yellow flag. But we don't any for the other races. I just 95 to 98% of the time, the lap timer is just there for my own personal, you know, what kind of lap times am I getting? Because when we get together, all we do is we just sit here and run cars. We may have the timer on just to see how many laps we do in a weekend. I remember that one weekend Dave came down, we rolled it over. We did 10,000 laps, and TrackMate had to shut down and we had to restart it. Yeah, well, yeah, you can tune them for that, and then yeah, John, right? Yeah. The one thing about this hobby is it's all, you know, it's like any other hobby. It's personal preference. Tune these cars. That's why you invested in cars like this, Okay, if you know, if you want a hotter motor, different gearing, do it. This isn't fast enough for you, whatever, you don't like this pod, you want suspension, then do it. That's what they're inviting you to do, is you tune these cars to your own personal, how you like them. 14 volts, 15 volts, you want to stack magnets in it, go ahead, you know. I think that's one of the better things about the hobby is that, you know. But you know how it is. Everybody says, well, you have to do it like this. No, you don't. You don't have to do it any way but the way you like it. You know? If you don't feel a company has done a good enough job for you, then just go purchase a product. Don't sit there and whine about it every way. Some people love tuning. Some people don't. You know. You know, I need to go get the other one out. I didn't ever get. Do I have an all-time favorite car? Gosh, man. You know, I in ready to run, I guess. Near the top of my list, near and dear to my heart, are the Carrera the NASCARs. When those arrived, that was a big deal at the time. Okay, so the Wing Warriors, when they came out, that was a big deal. For me, being involved with the project was just a lot of fun at the time. So ready to run, I'd have to say, you know, these just the good old American race cars that we needed, you know. Oh yeah, happy St. Patrick's Day, Chris. Yeah, the career NASCARs are just all the hours and hours and hours of fun we've had. memories that I've had with these cars. Great. So I'd have to say they're pretty close to ready to run. And then other cars, all the cars that date, like the scratch built cars, the showdown cars, the oval racing cars, those are near and dear to my heart, those things. But after that, man, it's like, oh, look at there. That was a good one. You can tell it's me. There we go. But when it comes to these hobby, if there's a couple other guys out here with me and we're running side by side, I mean, we run everything. Little SCX Renaults, rally cars. You know what? A grin is a grin. Okay. It's not the cars; it's the people. And for scratch built and 3D. Yeah, you can scratch build. I just finished a chassis underneath one of them. I just have to find out where I put it. This is one of the recent ones we've done here for what we run, and it's just a brass chassis with a little flex, brass and wire, Predator motor. So same thing, just replace the chassis. So there's the stock chassis, and then brass and steel. Yep. All about the fun. And honestly, the other chassis, once you tune them with slotted parts, they work just fine. I don't want, and that's the other thing, is I don't want the comparison, and I don't want, this car to run exactly like this. Like the Carrera NASCARs are off the pace compared to, well, I would hope so. They're their own car, their own characteristics. I don't want them to run, or do I expect them to run like an LMP car. In my opinion, anyway. They run great. Just got to tune them. But a lot of them, yeah. That's half the fun, putting chassis in there. And the 3D guys have done so much work with all the chassis that we have. I mean, you could put a chassis under just about anything. So I think that's great. I think that's part of the fun of the hobby, is all the work that some of these guys are doing out there is pretty amazing, really. I mean, I've seen some of the 3D chassis for the Ninco Classics, and the way we run them, I don't really need a chassis, but I've seen some in action, and a few folks have bought some here, and they're great. I think it's great that the 3D is just a whole nother part of the hobby. Who's your favorite kid? Yeah. Yeah, that's another one. Here we go. This is just the stock rubber. I'm just goofing. Lap times, whatever they are. Let me find. I just had it. I just saw it here. Yeah, I have more of those. Let's see here. There we go. Just kind of part of the theme of the day, right? There's still green there. I won't get pinched for it. Right? Good old fly classic. Now this car's been rebuilt long before we had any 3D chassis. Thank God we had slotted parts, right? And these are, I believe, these are the early, are these the slot? Yeah, these are the old slotted wheels. So you can see this is the old 11 to 36. This is the slotted gear, Paul gauge tires. Then the 15 by 10 slotted wheels and everything. Got there. Oh, and then I did a solid front axle, floating axle with it. And this is one of the early scale auto or slotting plus guides. It's white. You were supposed to, if you had the other sensors, you had to take a black magic marker to it. It was, oh yeah, they're beautiful, aren't they? Yeah. You have to know that this is one of those rare models, one of the rare ones that doesn't have broken fins on it. I was pretty good with breaking them, but that's what happens when you snap roll a car with magnets. The impacts are just harder. Used to crack me up, guys talking about, these cars are so fragile, and then the guy posted some photos in the forum that had like 3 bar magnets in it, and they had the voltage turned up to 16 volts, and they were flipping them off, and they were hitting the walls and shit and bouncing off the walls, and they're like, hey, these electric cars are fragile. I'm like, really? So is my 96 Haas 1-to-1 truck if I drive it into a wall. Oh, hello, how you doing? So, yeah, if you drive it into a wall, they don't answer. Yeah, it's good old fly classics. Again, we don't talk about them that much anymore. We don't talk about fly classics like we used to. They were the thing. You could have any classic Le Mans car you wanted as long as it was a fly, right? So, same one, same time period. Slotted gear. Okay, 1510 wheels. These are CB design. Then I turned down the original wheels and made the inserts. Drop them in, glue them in. Basic everything. This is old slotted wood guide. Slotted wood guide, yeah. Fragile. That's right. It was Italian. Come on, you knew I did bring this color out, right? Oh, come on. I know you saw it. Come on. Okay. But some spare parts like this, and cars are beautiful. They're fun. I miss running them. I think Dave. I think when you guys get here, we're gonna do a fly classic. When you guys get here for the showdown, we're gonna do a fly classic. We're gonna do a fun run with these. We're gonna spend some time. Things are a little blurry, yeah. I like that picture, Dave, that of the family sitting around the table in the 50s. Mom, Dad, are we Irish? And the mom's like, shut up and finish your whiskey, right? Yeah, hey, welcome, man. Welcome. That's what they say. It's why God invented alcohol, so the Irish wouldn't rule the world. Something like that. Unlike some people, I have zero Irish. I like cabbage and I like corned beef. I don't like potatoes. Yeah, shut up and finish your whiskey. Yeah. What would you like to drink, sir? I'll have what the gentleman on the floor is having. You know? And then here finally, see, here's another one. I want you guys to know these were all tuned right around the same time period. So let me bring these out. You see? So I made the inserts from the original wheels. Slotted or CB Design insert wheels. That's CB Design. These are CB Design. Paul Gage 2212 5s all the way around. But slotted gears, bushings, completely rebuilt. Aftermarket guide scale auto. Slotting plus. Slot it. See all of them. And 11 to 36, all the stock standard gearing sizes. They're all the same. What's that? So you have beer, right? Yeah. Well, and the neat thing is, Tad, beer isn't just for breakfast anymore. You can have beer in the afternoon, the evening. What's the elevation on the track? Couple of inches. Yes. If you're talking about right here, just that, it's not very much at all. I'll just show you here. I just did it by sight. I wanted it to look good, but that's right around 4-inch difference all the way. And I just went up underneath the track once I put it together. I did the old L girder model railroad type open grid, and I just pushed it up with a 2x4 until I got it the way I wanted it, and then secured it. You have to get your Irish right. That's right. And that's what we're here for, Carrie. It's a good old Irish chin wag. Having a good time. Yeah, it's 3 to 4 inches, just enough for the depth of field. As you notice, model railroaders have done this stuff for perspective, but how it goes up. So the elevation is, on that side. So here, and then it just climbs up. So I just did it for a little bit of perspective. Just add a little depth of field is all. Nothing really major. So yeah, these old classics, they all run. They run really well. I haven't ran this one in a while. This was one of the first. We'll have to go back to one of my old articles. It's so old it was in black and white, I think, on the internet then. And these two cars were the two first cars that I did an article on as far as the tuning at the time. It was these. And yes, before anybody asks, I have a little box in here, okay? And inside the box is the mirrors for the car. And the reason I still own them is because I don't put them on when I run the car. Right after the pictures were taken, That's a Patty's pig, right? I St. Patrick's Day is kind of around here, and like New Year's, we just call it an amateur night. Those of us that drink, or used to anyway. I have to go watch John Wayne the Quiet Man now. My dad used to do that. St. Patrick, he would watch it. But anything that was with John Wayne, and he loved them. Yeah, it's running great. Good old Fly Classics. And by the way, that's stock motors. You know, Fly Classic motors. They all have got their own sound. You pull the trigger and somebody would say, what fly car are you running? Not what car you were running, what fly car. Because you do. Let me throw it as a bit dry. Yep. John Wayne, you know, John Ford, the director and everything, Irish and everything, it was a big thing for him. So, you know, John Marino here, but I love the Quiet Man. Good movie. I like it, that scene where the he kind of passes out or something. What's his name? Patty, right? And the horse and his wagon and everything, and the horse on its own goes to the pub by itself. You know? Now you gotta hand it to Fly for me. Good, and I got some ribs on the smoker. What are you guys doing for dinner tonight? You guys, what do you got brewing up out there, huh? I got the ribs on the smoker. On my pellet grill, they're just a-rolling right now. Man, I can smell them down here in the basement. I'm getting hungry. Mercy. They're gonna be good. And look forward to the more of the builds out there. Well, I'll tell you what, Tad. I'm gonna tell you this. I resisted it and everything, but my son, little Harry, he's in the Army too, and he got the pelt thing, and he told me, and some other people had told me about it, and I have to tell you, I haven't looked back. It really has. It makes a difference. When I'm down here with all the guys and we have the events, and Dave will tell you this or whatever, not having to go up there and check it all the time, you know. And just remember one thing, that the pellets, it's just compressed wood. The only thing I've done is I got a smoker too, but man, I'll tell you what, the ribs that come off of that thing, they're good. I'm glad I did it. And a Blackstone griddle, yeah. Now I won. I won a Blackstone griddle last year from the Ace Hardware, and I just don't have anywhere to put it, so I gave it to my son-in-law, and that means that I get good meals off of it. You know, if I had a family big enough for something like that, I bought a cast iron thing about like this big. You know, one of those little plates you can get in the camping sections for you. And I put that on my regular grill, and I can just do a few eggs or something on there because it's just me in the general, a lot of times. Yeah, yeah. I have I got a Pit Boss. The auger systems, the Traeger Pit Boss are all very, very basically the same. The control panels, the electronics. Once you peel the skin off, it's kind of like the old days of J.C. Penney and Sears radios. You change a badge on it, right? Um, but it's been a very, very good performing um, grill, and I just didn't need a gigantic one, even for 5 or 6 people. A couple racks, a couple things of baby backs, and then some short ribs or something. And I mean, that's enough meat for, well, at least for a handful of people anyway around here. I have 3 boys. Oh yeah, well, shoot, I know, man. I don't know how I could afford when little Harry and Chris, when they were young men, and the high school kids come on, we still talk about it to this day. How the hell did we afford anything, right? Because they would just eat, and eat and eat. Like never-ending metabolism. My son would literally, you buy a box of cereal, and I would, he's sitting here with half of the box in a stainless steel mixing bowl. Like, how can you eat that and look the way you do? But now, see, he has to run and exercise and everything in the Army. He has to do it with me because, all of a sudden, magically, he gets over 30 years old, and he says, hey, you know what? I can't eat what I want to eat anymore without... I know it is expensive. I mean, that's okay. You're going to eat good. There's another one of these. Does anybody else have these slaughter jags? Anybody else have those in their collection? I know John does. He has everything. But let me see if I could get this other one out of here. Oh well, I'm gonna get this one out too. And let's see here. Oh yeah. Yeah. Here's one from the Holy Crap That's Old Harry files. Yeah. Yeah. So funny that, they Mauricio and them, they did the Bud Light, the sponsors and everything. It was just company policy. Some people say, well, they don't do alcohol and tobacco. It's not true. It's just up to the company not to do it, They didn't want to promote alcohol and tobacco. And some of the cars, like with the Ferrari logos, all the licensing stuff, but yeah, we had plenty of cars from Ninco and stuff that, had alcohol on it. It's just, they're foreign brands that nobody knew in this country, so nobody cared. 4 boys, oh, yeah. Had to shop every 20, 18, and 15. Oh my God. Well, mine are older now, but when we get together, don't get your hands anywhere near their plate. You'll lose a digit. My oldest, Christopher, man, you get some pulled pork sandwiches around him, and he's guarding his plate like a caveman, It's like, it's okay, You have to. Yeah, it's fun to just pull the car out of there. And these are just Paul Gage Paul Gates tires. I test so many different blends of tires. I don't. They all run really good. If all three cars have the same tire, I don't really don't care if this car with that is what speed it is against this with the NSR. I just put the tires on the cars to match them up, and I test them. Some tires grip more than others. Like the NSR is good rubber, but anybody will tell you you could buy 2 packages of it and it could be completely different. Yeah, it does. Yeah, 6 gallons of milk. Yeah. Well, what was David and I were talking about in Georgia? Stupid old comfort food over there, and they still make them. Those Tostino's pizzas. You know what I'm talking about, right? You know, basically they taste just like the cardboard they're packaged in, right? But they're like that big. But I tell you what, my kids, you better believe they know what they taste like. And to this day, they still get them once in a while, just because, well, they remember it, just like ramen. So tire testing is, these tires, and John does a lot of tire testing on his track. And I have a ridiculous amount of tires, and I try to do the testing. I believe these are... I do not know. Oh, yeah, I do. They're right here. These are just the EVOs, the Ultra Grips, whatever. And they're prone to chunking up a little bit, everything else, but once they're clean, and softened up, they really hook up well. So do the sideways tires. I use a lot of the sideways in the slotted blends just because they work, and they seem to be, which I can't really back it up, but they just seem to be, 8, 9, 10 pairs. They seem to be very consistent. Blend, I guess. Yeah, I know, me too. I'm Jonathan eat Tostino's pizzas, right? Yeah, right. I know they're great. Yeah, I'd have died in Korea if I didn't have that. Well, alcohol. Yeah. Good old slot. The price of these slotties are still fair. Matter of fact, I wanted to show you guys this new one. The new slotted. Yeah, $64, $65, $69. I just picked up the new Momo. I'm working on it, right? I'm just tuning it up. Burgers and so while we're here, I'll show you. With this car, you get 2 wings, right? Everybody knows that who's dealing with it. You have the wing here that has the more prototype scale detail, the X metal strut, right? And then the tail light assembly, right? And then underneath base, you have the tear-proof, for lack of better translation from slotted, and it's just stronger, right? It's just the plastic. and that's the one I chose to use. But what I've done is, because they're pre-painted, they have a thick coating on there, and I'll show you. So, in order to get it to fit right so that it goes together, I took just a round file, and I went in here and I cleaned away that paint and sanded it out. You can see where I've removed all the paint. And another thing is, with all the paint and clear coat, that sometimes the wing, the holes there on each side, right? They go right here on those posts. So what I did was I just took a little pin vise, a little drill those holes out, made them a little bit bigger. Okay, so now when you assemble this, you put it in there and it just drops. You'll notice that it just goes right in and it sits flush. Okay, now you can glue that in place if you want to. That's entirely up to you. But I didn't go with the other wing. I just decided to use the stronger wing because that's just me. And let's see here. Yeah, and then we have what tires are we using on this one? I think we're using the slotted tires. Let me see. No, actually, I think I have the NSRs on here. I believe. Let me see. Oh no, that's the other chassis. I think I got it setting up over there somewhere. Oh well. I'll find it here in a minute when everything's over. Then it'll show up. Oh well. I'll get it put back. I'll get it put back together. There we go. Yep. Runs pretty good. Runs pretty good. Let me get this other car out here. I wanted to show you. We'll have a little bit more green. How about that? Huh? Just a few more minutes, and then I'll let you guys go. I've been carrying on. Yeah. Making everybody hungry. Talking about food. Yeah, I know. I'm just Dave will tell you, but I'm really a food pimp, and I take pictures daily. Hey, look, I don't care if I go to Captain D's. Look, so we share food pics of what we cook and eat. It's just a thing. Tell you what time is it? Oh, okay, 4 o'clock. Yeah. Tell you what, I'm getting ready to. Here in a little bit, I'm gonna put some foil in these ribs. But let's go take. If you guys want to, real quick, we'll stop the slot cars, and I'll take you with me, and we'll go up to the smoker. Okay? What do you say? Want to go check out and see what they look like? Well, I'm gonna do it anyway. So. You ever notice that people ask things? They're gonna do it anyway. Why ask? All right, so there we go. Going outside here. Man, it's windy, but it's still nice outside, huh? Got the wind blowing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Live food. Yeah. I hope YouTube doesn't flag this for adult content or something, you know. Yeah, look at there, huh? We go, beautiful day. Let's see what we got rolling here. Oh, look at that bark, huh? Are you kidding me? Whew. Yeah. Let me get these in some foil. They're looking good. Yeah, I like to use a smoke tube. It helps a lot. Adds the smoke flavor. You just get the end lit like a big old cigar and it just burns down. Oh yeah, it's time to get these things. Yeah, got the foil right here. About an hour and a half, man. You'll suck your fingernails off. There's no grill shortage here at HRW. Okay, there we go. Now you've seen the... Oh, yep. That's my other grill down here. I take that with me. It's portable. Okay, this folds up, right? The legs fold up, and it's small enough, and it can fit in the bed of my truck, and I can take it to RC events, mobile events. You know, hey, that's right. Children at play. There you go. There you go. You didn't know you were going to get a tour, did you? Until just now. You know, there's a grill. Well, yeah, I mean, what if you get hungry in between upstairs and down here? Right? I mean, you know. Yeah. Well, all right then. I've kept you guys long enough. Thanks for joining in. I hope you guys do have a great St. Patty's Day or a great day all around. And let's go eat something, right? You know? Anyway, yeah, just I'm making a hot mess down here. I'll show you. Just been doing just different tuning, pulling cars out. And I've done some reorganizing here. Gotten things clean. I was just messing with the tires a little bit. Trued up a few Paul gauge this morning. Kind of done some reorganization here. And then over here especially, I had to move this the board here. And I trimmed it down. And I moved it over here. It used to be up here, but I needed more room. So Dave said, put it here. And I did. And then I've organized the plastic and other things here of that nature. So that's organized for me. And then the track that used to be over there, I mounted it up here. So that's the dedication piece from the old oval that used to be here. And when we changed it, a lot of miles, a lot of memories, and I had all the guys at the time when we took it down, the one folks that would show up, they would sign it. And unfortunately, some of those folks aren't with us anymore, but we had some great memories on that track, so that's why I saved that piece. And just for FYI, that's where these came from, was after we chopped that down, I took some pieces out and cut them, made the sanding stations here out of that old track. So, a lot of history. A lot of history. Yeah, I was playing with that car. I brought it out just the other day. Man, it was fun. That's a fun car. You know, Carrera, man. Sometimes they crack me up. What a mold not to redo. They could just start doing them again in red, white, blue colors, and they would sell every one of them. You know. But, you know, what do we know, right? Yeah, the front tires, you hear that? Okay. This is why I don't like fingernail polish on tires. Never have, and I never will. This sound can be annoying when you go to commercial track and there's 6 to 8 lanes of people that have painted and coated their tires. Well, these tires, these are Carrera rubber, and they got hard. They're harder than Chinese algebra now. So you talk about zero grip, that's what that is. But anyway, all right, guys, thanks again for tuning in. I hope all of you have some fun out there and you get a chance to play with some stock cars and have some friends and family join in. Please be safe out there. Wish you all the best, and we'll holler at you online.